Welcome back, everyone. This is the first time for the channel. Actually, Company of Heroes 3. Not Warno, not even Steel Division. Completely different game. So, I will try to explain a few things along the way. But I really wanted to show this match because it was quite fun. So for all the people who don't know, there was recently a new DLC. And with new battle groups, I'm playing the new US battle group, that is the Free French Forces. And I try to go for a bit of a different build. So there is this ability here, Old Guard, that was bugged before. So retreating units were supposed to have another 15% damage reduction on retreat, but it worked the wrong way around, so your units were actually dying faster on retreat, which is why nobody went for that. And now it was fixed, so I decided to try it out, but with only going one French section. Oh, sorry. Only one French section, and then go for two riflemen, standard riflemen, because they can also upgrade this light machine gun. Which means that I can skip the bar attack. I do still go for the Free French in the beginning because they come out faster, so that gives me more map control early on. And I mean, they're still pretty good when they're in cover, because they get a 20%, I think, rate of fire buff when they're in cover. And yeah, I do also start with an engineer, because I want to have some mine clearing, especially against Wehrmacht. That is very important. Because they do like to do like 3 pioneer openers. So yeah, now first rifle section also coming out, going for the munitions point at the bottom. This engagement here was not exactly the smartest, because yeah, they're in the building, and because they're on top of the roof, that means that they get damage bonus, because they have the high ground bonus. I thought I could alleviate that by going here, because there's no windows in the house, but I forgot that they can just all go on the roof and then still fire on my squad, so that was a bit of a waste. Yes, for a very quick basic explanation of how the game works for all the people that don't know the game. So we have these territory points. They give the resources that they're indicating that they give. Resource points have to be connected to your base sector to give the resources. And yeah, well, you need the resources to produce units from those production buildings. He has now gone onto my +10 fuel here and managed to capture it, because he has a machine gun here that suppresses me. And if you are suppressed, your squads move slower. They also have slower reload. And then at some point they will get pinned and not be able to do anything anymore, so you need to retreat them. This is of course now a very big problem, because I do still get this part of the map, but not having my base sector and also this part of the map means that he has it and is quite far ahead in resources, and now he will go on this sector. And as you can see, it goes like this, so if he captures this zone, I lose access to all of those resources at the top. And because I knew that he has the machine gun basically base pinning me, I instantly went for a mortar. Because that's the natural counter to the machine gun. I will also go for the sprint ability on the rifleman. So normally you get an ability at the first veterancy level. All units have 3 veterancy level that they get through doing damage throughout the match. And the Americans have the unique ability on their own troops that they can choose between 2 veteran abilities. So with the riflemen you have either pour it on them, which means that they can suppress an enemy squad, just like the machine guns can. Just a lot slower, but you still can do it. Or sprint. Now, the pour it on him was recently changed. It now costs 50 munitions, so this resource here, to use, while sprint is still free. So most people now go for sprint, because it's just... It was always a good ability, but with pour it on him also being free, it kind of... You both were quite equally good. Now with sprint still being free, it's, in my opinion, straight up better. Because of the simple opportunity cost, right? And then once I have, for example, 2 riflemen with sprint, I could sprint around the machine gun, but I don't have the Vet 1 yet. And I still need to fight the machine gun early on, so the mortar was the right choice. The French can't choose a veterancy ability because they're not an American squad. Yeah, so I was able to push him back, but of course the whole time he had pretty massive map control, was able to cut me off. Went for the infantry support center. I do like going for the mechanized support center from time to time if I want to play heavily with Greyhounds. But right now against Wehrmacht I don't think that's the play, because Wehrmacht has a lot of pressure early game. Their squads are worse, but they're also cheaper, so they can get a lot of manpower in the field very quickly. Here I thought he would go for the grenade on the low squad, but he didn't. So you need as much like boots on the ground yourself early game, and going for the infantry support center gives you this unit, the captain, for free. You can choose between 3 support centers as the Americans: air support center, mechanized support center, and infantry support center. They have different upgrades that they unlock in this tab here. And if you go for the infantry support center, as I said, you get the captain for free. Now, there's a big problem. I went for a rifle, for the second rifle that I wanted to go for earlier. But he actually got out his flavor half-track already. And as you can see, this does massive damage against infantry. I should have known that this was coming very early because he had such a massive map control. And the problem is, like, he could literally just drive into my base and kill everything I have, because I have nothing to fight him. I didn't have snares unlocked yet. I don't have any AT gun. I am just now building the production building that gives me access to the AT gun. So in the meantime, I am very, very vulnerable to this flamer half track, which I guess he didn't know that I don't have the grenades. And to be fair, it is fairly standard to already have the grenades tagged at this point, but I didn't. So good for me that he assumed that I had. But yeah, this is now very bad. Especially this rifle squad is now very low HP, and the health points are counted not only per squad but per squad mate. So you can see there's like one guy literally 2 HP, so he will die very quickly, and all the other guys will also die very quickly. And if your units die, you can reinforce them off the base, but like reinforcing a soldier costs you manpower. So naturally, you don't want to lose guys, because that will put you behind in the economic play. You can heal up HP with, for example, the medical tent, but the medical tent costs fuel, and I needed the fuel to build the production building to build the AT gun, which is why I wasn't able to build the med tent yet. And that's why I am just so behind right now. And because I'm behind, I was falling more behind. And I was kind of in a death spiral at this point, where he's now again pushing me back, basically into my base. He will probably capture my cluster and fuel here, then capture this cutoff, so I will have kind of basically 0 resource income anymore. I do have the AT gun coming out, and you always have manpower, so and I think you get like +8 fuel from your base sector as well, so you always have like a small trickle of fuel and manpower. But of course, all of this time, he has a shit ton of fuel coming in, which means that he can either start spamming the flamer half tracks, which is a very valid strategy, by the way, because this thing has 400 health points, and then gets 2 health boosts with veterancy for some reason. So this is like insanely tanky. Or he can just tag up super early and then get a medium tank or a Brumbeer, which is a specialist anti-infantry tank. And yeah, as you can see, my whole army is just infantry. So I will just die if he gets that. But for now I can at least somewhat stabilize. I'm now recapturing the cutoff. This scout squad here is very important because it captures and decaptures zones quicker. It also has pretty good vision, and once I upgrade it with the utility package, it can also shoot up flares to provide vision. I can't right now because I'm starved for all resources, also for ammunition, and I still need to upgrade my my rifleman with the machine gun, which is going to be important to defeat his infantry. He has gone for some Panzer Grenadier squads now. Those are basically elite infantry. Like, I mean, I say basically because there is infantry that is better than them. But they're like, let's say advanced infantry. I think that's the best way to put it. So they're really strong against other infantry, but they don't have any way to counter vehicles. Yeah, I should probably also explain, as I said before, like, taking snares. So snares are those little bombs that infantry can throw onto vehicles. For the Germans, it's mostly the Panzerfaust. For almost all other factions, it's some sort of anti-tank grenade. They can throw it onto vehicles. It does some damage. It stuns the vehicle for a little bit. And if it falls below 50 HP, with the damage this snare does, its engine gets damaged. So it won't be able to... It will still be able to move, but it won't be able to move as fast. By the way, here, hitting this vehicle with the AT gun and still survive because it just has so much HP. But yeah, having snares against light vehicles especially is very important, because light vehicles naturally have less HP, so it's easier to get the critical hit on the engine. And the Panzergrens don't have that. They can't do anything against vehicles, but the flip side is that they're extremely good against infantry. Now I was able to push him off with just having more squads, and the French in cover with a light machine gun are very potent, so definitely shouldn't underestimate them. They are like a little squishy because they're only a 5-man squad, quote unquote, but they have fairly high HP. I think 95 HP is their standard HP, which they come out with. So they're definitely nothing to scoff at as well. And yeah, well, it's just still very bad. He has the victory points, so this is what the game is about. This is the win condition, let's say it like that, because obviously it's also about capturing the resource zones, but the player that has less of the victory points loses tickets, and the one of victory points and the one that is at 0 first loses, of course. The higher the disparity in the VPs captured, the faster the tick is. And in Company of Heroes 3, the tick is very fast if there's a triple tick. So you can see at 12 minutes, I'm basically already halfway done with my tickets. That's very bad. Especially because he has gotten the early advantage, so the late game will be even worse. Do find a mine here that he laid, so quickly clear it off. So all the Warner people will be having an orgasm now. Wow, there are mines in this game? Yes, there are mines in this game that you lay with your engineering squads, or in this case you can also lay them with this half-track. Very strong. They also do engine damage against vehicles. If they're anti-infantry mines, they will kill some infantry, and you need to clear them with the minesweepers. Well, if you don't, you will constantly lose manpower with your infantry squads running in them, and your vehicles will get immobilized. Well, as I said, they can still move with an engine damage, but they will be moving very slowly, so it's extremely dangerous to be caught off guard with an engine critical. Yeah, and here you can see French squad double vet now, gets 25% weapon accuracy in cover. Is actually very good against the Panzergrens, because they have to move in over the open, they have a vet disadvantage, so this is where the French squad shines. The reason why I only go for one and then decided to go for more riflemen is specifically because the French also don't have a snare. It's only the riflemen that have. And I know that this light vehicle play with the flamer half-tracks or the 2-2-1 or other vehicles is very, very on vogue right now with Wehrmacht, and I mean DAC in general likes vehicle play, so you really need to have some snares. Now this Panzergren is vet 1, so you can see they activated an ability that gives them, well, just basically makes them better in combat, which is why my rifleman needed to retreat, even though the Panzergren was pushing it over the open. Another cool ability that Wehrmacht has, as you just saw, is they can merge their grenadiers into other squads. So while this Panzergren was already low HP, you quickly merged into it and kept it at full HP, meaning that they keep all of their DPS. I think the guys that merge into the Panzergren squad, they then have either lower HP or received accuracy or something like the Grenadier squads. There's something. I don't remember which stat they copy over from the Grenadier. But it's still better to merge into better squads. It's also more manpower efficient because, of course, Panzergrens are more expensive to reinforce than Grenadiers. So if you merge the Grenadier into the Panzergren, you only need to reinforce the Grenadier, which will be cheaper. Well, you know. This flavor half-track still being annoying. I did, in the meantime, go for a second AT gun, because as I said, he's way ahead of me in the resources, so I have to assume that the tank is coming out soon. I'm nowhere near my own tank depot. It will still be 50 fuel, or 45 fuel away. I'm getting 23 fuel a minute, so it's like 2 minutes away from even building the tank depot, and that's before I even have near enough fuel to build an actual tank. So yeah, I definitely need 2 AT guns. American AT guns are pretty good, because you have this armor-piercing rounds ability that costs 50 munitions, which is quite expensive. But as you can see, they get plus 100% penetration and plus 25% damage, which is extremely strong. This ability was already strong in Company of Heroes 2, and there it only gave you the extra penetration and no extra damage. So yeah, very important to have that. I do spread them out a bit, so that they have overlapping arcs of fire, but they don't look at the same spot. Because he can obviously have a second vehicle out, as I said, so he could come in from 2 angles, and then if both the T-guns are looking the same way, they could die very quickly, especially considering that the flavor half-track just has insane DPS against infantry, because that's kind of, you know, the point of the unit. And now has also gotten its first health boost with that 2, which is, in my opinion, just goofy. It's perfectly fine to have a health boost, but having 2 health boosts, it's just a little bit too much in my opinion. Because of his battle group, he also, I don't think I've said it, but well, the people that play the game will know, but he is playing the new Wehrmacht battle group as well, indicated by the fact that he did go for the Flamer half-track, because that is one of the new units. Another thing that is new is also that he can upgrade his, well, not the pentagrams, but his normal grenadiers with flamethrower, which makes them quite a bit more potent in close quarters combat. And it's also very good because, in general, grenadiers lack scaling in the late game. Combat scaling, that is. And the flamethrower, well, obviously resolves that. It is a situational tool that only works in close quarters, but that's better than nothing. Using the captain to go capping the victory zones. I did manage to push him back, as you can see. Because he was just stalling. I mean, he was so far ahead resource-wise, but there was just nothing coming out, which really made me worried, because that means that your enemy is stalling for some very strong late-game unit. Now, to be fair, I did forget that he has access to the Sturmtiger, so I was really confused, because I was like, oh, he doesn't have a Tiger or a Panther, so what is he stalling for? But, yeah, well, the answer is probably something like the Sturmtiger. Here my captain dies to the mine. That was really bad, because the captain has a very strong ability that can make vehicles more vulnerable to not AT guns, but just more vulnerable in general to whatever you have. In this case, I only have AT guns against the vehicles, which is a vet vulnerability, so you need the squad to be vetted up, and I lost it. So this is very, very bad. I was able to at least build a tank depot now. I was also able to tech the Char B1. Another new unit in this patch. Very cool. A heavy tank for the Americans now. Like, obviously, it's a French one. And he did in fact not stall for the Sturmtiger, but for the Brummbär. As I said, specialized anti-infantry tank. Oh, sorry. Specialized anti-infantry tank. Which makes a lot of sense, because I don't have any tanks myself, so there's no reason for him to go for the Panzer IV. The Brummbär is definitely the better choice. I have double AT guns, that Brummbär can, you know, decently well tank AT guns frontally, especially if, you know, you forget to activate the armor-piercing rounds as I did. And it gets a range boost if it's stationary, so it can really, really do a number on your AT guns. Here he completely fucks up and micros his half-track, so I was able to kill it. That was very important. In the meantime, I also built fuel cache, so you can upgrade those resource points to give you more resources. It costs manpower, and normally most factions are starved for manpower, but there's one neat thing about the medical tent of the Americans, and it's this thing here. Casualty recovery. So you have medics running out into the field from time to time, like here. Recovering casualties, and every time he brings home a casualty, I get plus 25 manpower. That doesn't sound like a lot, but over the course of a game, that's quite a lot of manpower that I am regaining basically for free. Basically for free, meaning like the med tent, oh, I can't see it now, but the med tent is a little more expensive than, for example, the British med tent. But for this ability, that's absolutely worth it. I also, oh my god, I completely missed that. Yeah, I at some point stole his MG42. That was actually a very good move, and I completely missed that. It was up here on the top. I basically snuck my engineers around here and threw a demolition charge on his machine gun while he was busy fighting a squad up here. So that was also very important for me to be able to turn the game around. He now decruised it with his Panzergren, which is pretty bad, but he decruised it close to my base. I had 2 squads coming out already, so I was able to protect it. He even loses his Grenadier here, which was very bad. I also had a 3rd squad on the top, actually. So that was honestly very badly microed by him. He should have instantly retreated after he saw the 2 squads standing here. Like, there was no point in him staying out in the open, especially. So I'm able to recruit the machine gun again. I did recapture the cutoff, but then he instantly captures it again because he has a boom bat together with the Panzergren. He did also kill off my fuel cache here, which is quite annoying. So no extra fuel for me anymore. I could have really needed it, because I think that would have meant that I would now have been able to buy the Char B1 already, and I can't do that. I don't really want to go for more infantry because he has a boom bear, so like more infantry doesn't really help me as much here. I should have probably rebuilt the captain at this point already, because it's really not as expensive. 150 manpower. A normal rifle squad, for example, costs 270 manpower. But I kind of was a little busy trying to figure out how to not die to the boom bear, and not thinking about that, because I went on a bit of a break from Company Fears 3, so you know, I'm still trying to get back into the groove. And yeah, this mortar though, with Vet 2, now pretty dangerous, gets extra damage, has extra rate of fire from the Vet 1 ability, or Vet 1 veterancy bonus, and the veterancy 1 ability, which in my opinion is one of the strongest abilities in the whole game, and also why I will never take American mains seriously to cry about America not having like good artillery, because this airburst is just the strongest mortar ability in the whole game. Like, this straight up deletes anything if you target it. He now kills my scout squad, because he had Panzergren and a Grenadier squad here. And he did the right thing and chased my scout squad, and this is very, very painful, because while the scout squad doesn't have a lot of combat ability, the extra vision it gets you and the capping potential is so important. So I am finally able to get up my Char B1, but actually losing the scout squad before that is very bad. But I have enough manpower to rebuild it if I want to, so surely at some point I will do that. And yeah, now he also built a bunker here. I think that's a big mistake of him to build it that far forward. This is also from the new battle group, so this is basically a bunker that buffs up your troops around it and has a mortar inside of it, and the mortar has like insane range. I think if he would have built it like here, he would probably still be able to barrage to around this area. So now I guess he buffed up his troops closer to the front line, but it also meant that I could easily kill it off with my AT guns. And he now also has a Panzer IV. So I am now up against 2 tanks, but I have my own tank, which is slow as fuck, but has 2 guns. As people that know the Char B1 will know, it has a gun in the front here, and then the gun in the turret, and pretty good frontal armor, 320, and massive HP actually. I didn't even know that before that game, because I never bothered to check, but 1080 HP, and then you even get 160 extra HP at Vet 3, and also 50 frontal armor at Vet 2. So this thing is tanky as fuck. It is slow as well, and doesn't have like the best penetration, but it's very good against infantry because of the double gun. And honestly, it's also decently good against other tanks, especially if you then also get the Vet 1 ability that reduces enemy armor by 50. You just have to watch out to not get outflanked, but that's, you know, not a big concern for me because I have 2 AT guns. I also now lost my French squad up here to a Panzergren squad. I noticed too late that they were getting deleted by the Panzergren, and well, retreated them too late. So I quickly recalled them. I didn't want to build a squad because I felt like I needed squads on the field as quickly as possible. And because you can call in the French rifle squad, it arrives on the field, well, instantly. I'm now also rebuilding the scout.
Engineers here.
Need to repair the Sharpie one, which will take a while because it has so much HP. But recently I've been trading quite well. I'm still quite far behind in victory points, but the trades have been going well. I have killed his bunker here, which is very important. Map control has been more or less stable for me, even though I'm still behind in the victory points. At least the resources are looking actually okay. I also have finally used the Zone Rouge, which is one of the strongest ability of this battle group in my opinion. You can basically just select one of those territory points with this ability, and then automatically, I think, yeah, 5 mines will be laid around this point, which is, you know, very, very strong, and forces him to basically go everywhere with a Pioneer Squad with a mine clearer, because there will be mines everywhere, even though I only have 1 Pioneer Squad that could be able to lay mines. Now he drives his Panzer IV into me very aggressively. I again didn't use my veteran ability on the AT guns, which means that he gets away with his tank, which was a giant mistake by me actually. Brombeer drives in, they cruise one of the AT guns, but I finally remembered to use the Gundam ability on my AT gun. So now this AT gun will do a lot of damage against the Brombeer, and he left it standing there at like super low HP, knowing that this AT gun is shooting at him and that I still have a tank, so he just loses the Brombeer for like no reason at all. He did decrew one of my AT guns already. That was like a fine trade for him. And he was also able to get his Panzer IV out, so I honestly don't know why he did that. Maybe he didn't know about the better ability of the AT gun, or he thought that the armor of the Brombeer would hold up better. I'm not sure, but yeah, that was a very big throw. And also again, like the Brombeer has the extra range when it's stationary, so there's there's no point in driving in so close with the Brombeer. And because now he also didn't kill off the AT gun, I was easily able to just recruit. He did go for a Nebelwerfer, which is a decent choice by him because I have a machine gun and double AT guns and a mortar. He does decrew the machine gun and then also hit the mortar with the flames. I didn't retreat it initially because I thought that the rockets were going for the machine gun, but like the spread was just insane. So actually I think he was going for the mortar and just got insanely lucky that 2 rockets scattered off directly on the machine gun. But you know, it happens from time to time. Overall, this engagement, I would say I came out ahead because he lost a tank and I really didn't lose anything. I was able to recruit all of my stuff again. And now I have my second tank up. I'm not sure whether like 2 Sharpie ones are a good play, because then you have 2 very slow tanks. So it's probably better to have like 1 Char and then spam Hellcats or Shermans, depending on whether your enemy goes infantry heavy or tank heavy. But I just like the tank because it's like it's a cool, unique tank that you rarely see in games generally, because most games focus on late war. World War II games focus on late war, you know. So it's rarely seen, and I think it's just a cool, goofy tank. So I like to have 2 of them. Nebelwerfer goes for my AT guns. I split them, so you know, I don't get hit by artillery too badly, and both of them survive, which is very good. I did want to go up with my tank to this victory point to capture, or like to support my infantry up there, but actually seeing the push coming into the center, I decided to reroute the tank from the top side. The tank on the bottom side is fighting the Panzer IV. I mean, he has a better gun, I guess, but I have 2 guns and significantly more HP and armor, so overall I think I should still win the fight, even if I don't have the AT guns up, which I did retreat to base to heal them up, because they are very important to me, to prevent him from diving my tanks, even though now I have 2 tanks, so I'm also in general less susceptible to dives, but I don't want to find out, you know. I see his AT gun here, kind of isolated. I didn't want to push in, because I was assuming that he would have a second AT gun up by now, considering I now have 2 heavy tanks. And yeah, now I'm using the airburst, and let's just look how quickly you fire at Vet 3. Like, this thing is absurd at Vet 3. This AT gun was not at full HP, to be fair, it was like at 4 HP. But still, he didn't even have time to pick up and move out of the way before he got decrewed. It's honestly absurd. And you can also see he also has casualty clearing, which means that he built a bunker, actually. So the Wehrmacht only gets a casualty clearing if they build a bunker and upgrade it to a medical bunker. Their standard base healing doesn't give them the casualty clearing. But yeah, that means that he's also getting manpower back. Which is very good for him, because his reinforcements with the Grenadiers are overall cheaper. But for some reason that still meant that he was so far behind at this point. And I was kind of confused, because I didn't feel like I was trading too well this whole time. I did kill the Brummbär, of course. And now I also killed the pack, so like the last few minutes were definitely good for me, but other than that, I didn't feel like it. And now he goes for a massive all-in with 2 Panzergrens, Grenadier, Brummbär, and Panzer IV all driving around here. I quickly retreat the riflemen because they were gonna like die if they stayed in for like 1 more second. This AT gun was about to die anyway, but I decided to just leave it standing here to get off as many shots as I can, because even if I like started retreating with it, it would have died, and this way it at least did some damage. Same with this AT gun, and I would say this was the absolutely right choice to make, because I do kill the Panzer IV, I kill the Brummbär, I will maybe even kill the Grenadier. Oh no, I think this will get home scot-free. I do lose my engineers because he has both of his Panzergrens in my retreat path, and 2 of them at Vet 3 are actual Soul Reapers. They're like insanely good. So yeah, I did lose a bunch of infantry, unfortunately, but all of my T-weapons are still alive, so I can recruit them. I did push forward with my Chars and kill the Nebelwerfer. I should have also stayed in and killed it off, like the weapon itself. With my tanks, that was actually very dumb. Yeah, he did also decrew my mortar, which is very sad because the Vet 3 on it is so good because of the massive rate of fire bonuses. But overall, me having killed both of his tanks and now also killed so much of his infantry and support weapons, I was actually kind of fine. Like, at this point I knew the game was over. I will also quickly pause it here, because the moment the game will end in a few seconds, and then it will instantly throw you out from the map view. And I want to quickly discuss a few things about this game. Yeah, I did also lose my scout squad again towards the end to the double Panzergrens. So, sad. But yeah, he had the massive early game advantage, and then he fumbled it, I think, by just stalling for way too long. If he would have doubled down or even tripled down on the Flamer half-tracks, first of all, that could have been a lot better. Especially in the early game where I didn't even have 18-8s, but to be fair again, he didn't know that. It would have been a risky move to make, so fair, I guess. But even there he was already so far ahead that it would have probably been still worth it to throw away a Flamer half-track to just base check me. And yeah, then he didn't do anything with his advantage, stalled for way too long to get a Brummbär out, which then he also didn't use too well. It was well enough, but I mean, I had 2 AT guns that he wasn't able to deal with too well. Then he also built the mortar bunker way too far forward, so I was also able to kill it. And it kind of just gave me a comeback potential that he had nothing to counter with. And even though, like, the Reddit is still gonna bitch and moan about US being so weak and blah 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 blah, like, riflemen are just, in my opinion, still like the best mainline in the whole game. For the love of God, I don't understand how people think the US is a bad faction. I understand that, like, team games are different, don't get me wrong, and like definitely that, you know, the balance there is different, and that riflemen being good isn't as important there. Sure, but there's still a very, very good mainline squad. It's so good. They get free sprint. They have good grenades. Their sticky bomb is, I think, nothing to write home about. Is very standard. They have 6-man, very high HP without even. I didn't even go for a single upgrade in the infantry support center, by the way. So you can get your infantry another 10 HP if you want with the survival training here. So that would put them at 125 HP. This is like elite infantry territory. I can't select the Panzergrens now because they're retreating, but yeah, 125 HP is so much. They get amazing veterancy bonuses as well. So yeah, I just don't know why people think they're bad. Then you also have the med tent with casualty recovery, which makes it so that you can even keep up with trading like suboptimally, just because you get back the manpower. So yeah, late game US extremely dangerous, which is why he should have pushed his early game advantage. I think stalling is just not the play, unless he would have went for the Sturmtiger. That could have been a play, because Sturmtiger just wipes shit so quickly. But and I also don't have any like strong off map that I can drop on the Sturmtiger, because I mostly go for the Defiance thing here. Railway artillery like sounds nice, but I don't know how fast it comes in, so I'm not even sure how good it would be against the Sturmtiger. Maybe if it's snared. But overall, I do prefer this ability, which, by the way, I should have also used a lot earlier. Well, I didn't use it at all in the game, because I constantly forget about it, but it's a very good ability, like 50 rate of fire. And the squad it's on also gets a 25% damage reduction. Yeah, okay, I thought about putting it on a tank, but actually you can't put it on a tank. You can put it on an infantry squad, a team weapon, or a Tourelle turret, so those turrets you can build. But putting it on an AT gun could have definitely been the play when he was diving me with his tanks. Also activating the AT shells ability on the AT guns more often, you know. Even though it's expensive at 50 munition, it's also very good. But yeah, overall, like I have been waffling on for forever. He just completely squandered his early advantage because he stalled on for too long and then misplayed the late game. So yeah, don't do that, guys. Yeah, no, and obviously this point he surrenders because he lost one Pentagram squad. The other one would also die, and at this point he didn't really have anything left anyway. Yeah, it throws you up out instantly. If you look, yeah, he basically lost everything. And yeah, also losing his machine gun was obviously very bad. But even with the machine gun loss, he could have played around it. But oh well. Be aggressive, guys. Don't just sit there waiting for some late game wonder weapons. I feel like, because I don't think the skill doesn't show here, or the ranking. I'm like mid-ranked right now, so the people I'm playing obviously aren't high-level players, because I also am not a high-level player. But this is a mistake often seen in like mid-range to low elo plays, that people just sit on their ass too much. And yeah, what can I say? It was a fun game. Pure scout squads did die a little too much. You really want to keep them alive as much as possible, because they are such great utility. But my rifle squads did survive the whole game. You can see also just massive efficiency factor. Though I guess the biggest efficiency factor was on the mortar team. It's just insane. It is insane. I don't remember what the other veterancy option even is. Some sort of HE barrage, I think. So like the delayed fuse on the heavy mortar in CoH3, I think. But like, there's just no point for going for it. Always go for the airburst. It basically makes any team weapon play from your enemy literally impossible. They will not be able to sit in a spot for more than 2 seconds because they will get nuked. Always go for the airburst. It's insane. And then the Sharpie one. I love it, but probably only go for one. Going for 2 is a little BM. And also, obviously, the second tank comes in later than if I would have gone for a Hellcat, because it's cheaper. So, yeah, that was, you know, the first time for me casting a Company of Heroes game. So, if you have some feedback as to what to do better, please tell me. I'm obviously used to, you know, if anything, casting Warno games, which is a very slow RTS. So, unfortunately, I also missed a few things here in the game because there's so much going on. Sorry for that, but maybe it will be better in the future. I don't know. Company of Heroes is quite fun right now. They didn't fix blobbing overall, but I think it's in a decent-ish state right now, balance-wise. So I will be playing a bit more of it on stream. This game was played off stream because I was tired and didn't want to stream. But yeah, also check out the streams where I play Warno and Company of Heroes, and sometimes also other games like Nuclear Option. And I yap a lot, as you might have noticed. So gonna leave it here. Enough yapping for today. Thank you for watching, and see you next time with whatever game I'll be playing then. So have a beautiful day, and bye bye.